Muhammad Zahir Shah was the last king of Afghanistan after his father Nadir Shah was assassinated on November 8, 1933, and remained in power until 1973. Zahir Shah was the king of Afghanistan, but he did not have complete control of the country, as it had a legal system in which it was led by a prime minister. The monarchy wanted to focus on two main objectives: building up the nation's army and developing Afghanistan's economy. The government did not want to get in political ordeals with Britain and the Soviet Union, so they decided that they would turn to Germany, which had an interest. In 1964, Zahir Shah introduced a new constitution which prevented any relatives of the royal family to have high power in the Afghan government offices. It also established a two-house parliament, free elections, freedom of press, and also gave the women the right to vote.
Alright boys, we're looking at the Soviet-Afghan War. And this was a war that went for 10 years, from 1979 to 1989. It was fought between the Soviets, who were the Russians, and the government that was set up in Afghanistan that was communist at the time, versus the Mujahideen, who were an Islamic group that was backed by Iran, the US, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. Now, in 1978, the PDPA, who were known as the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, took power in a military coup known as the Sal Revolution. Now, the Soviet War started in December 1979 when the Soviets wanted to replace the current government in Afghanistan. Now, many people resisted this change, and they were known as the Mujahideen, and they were spread throughout Afghanistan, just trying to hold out against the communists taking over against their Islamic religion. Now, this war went for 10 long years, and until really the people backing the Mujahideen came into it, it was a really one-sided war to the Soviets winning most major battles due to them having the superior technology with the helicopters and more men. Now, the people backing the Mujahideen were a crucial element in their defeat of the Soviets, because the US and Pakistan and Saudi Arabia funneled money, weapons and fighters in to help them. And as seen by this guy here, he's got a stinger.
Alright boys, Afghan Civil War. The Afghan Civil War is starting from 1989 to 1996. It is divided into two stages. First from 89 to 92, and second stage is from 92 to 96. In the first stage of the Civil War, the communist government was fighting against the Mujahideens. Although the Russians had retreated, they are still sending aids to the communist government in Kabul. By the end of 1991, however, when the Russians ceased to send more aids into the communist government, they swiftly defeated by the Mujahideens. However, when Mujahideens entered the capital city Kabul, there are two Mujahideen leaders fighting each other, mainly Hekmatyar versus Massoud. Hekmatyar was aiming to set up a strict Islamic ruling, which impose a stricter Sharia law, which is quite similar to the later Taliban, while Massoud was aiming to set up an Islamic union of all Muslims in Afghanistan. However, in the later stage of the Civil War, Taliban rose in the late 1994, and although Taliban was rising as a new power, Hekmatyar didn't stop their fight with Massoud. They're still fighting each other, while the Taliban was fighting against both of them. In 1996, Taliban captured Kabul, and the rest of the Mujahideen, mainly Massoud, fled to the fled to the northern district of Afghanistan, while Hekmatyar, he didn't fled, and later he aligned himself with Taliban again.
The Taliban were a Pashtun Islamic group that took over Afghanistan in 1996 under the rule of Muhammad Omar. They had taken advantage over the war between the Soviets and the Mujahideen and the aftermath of the war-torn country. When they had come into power in Afghanistan by enforcing strict restrictions and bans, especially towards women, which I'll be covering in this part of the video. Omar was a committed Muslim, so when he came into power in Afghanistan, he enforced strict rules such as Sharia law, which I'll be covering in the next part of the video. Sharia law. Sharia law is an Islamic law and is believed to be one of the strictest laws, especially to women, enforced by the Taliban when they came into power in 1996. Some of the rules of Sharia law are: the Taliban thought they should take over Afghanistan to restore peace to the country that was filled with terror left from the Soviet invasion, along with their certain set of beliefs that they thought was right and wrong for Afghanistan.